more than 12 years of your academic journey. Now you have reached such a phase where you're going to choose what is right for your future, what makes you happy, and what makes your future secured. So that is what is, my dears, is plus one plus two, your turning point. You have already seen what are the basics of so many different topics under the sun. You have learned chemistry, maths, computers, physics. Now you're going to choose which is best for you. May God bless you in your choices, and all the best for that. I am Sobi Susan. I'll be helping you to learn computer science and informatic practices. The topic today we are going to deal with is Python. And we have already seen what Python is, its introduction you have seen the different advantages, disadvantages. Also you have started with the basics, otherwise the fundamentals of Python. So in Python you have seen Python programming language. What is Python programming language? It's a very simple language, but it is having its own advantages, and for your information, it was being chosen for more than 5 years as the best programming language as well as the popular programming language. The reason behind this, it is having a set of pre-written programs. Pre-written programs means it is already ready to use. Just like you call up Swiggy and Swiggy will deliver your food. You are not bothered to cook it. Just the same way, Python is having tons and tons of built-in programs which helps you to make programming easy. The second main factor is it is very high level language, where the term high level language is actually comes as a classification of different programming languages. So if you need to know more about that particular set of classification, we will learn about or talk about or discuss about it during our live session. So it is very high level programming language. So it is very much close to our natural language English. So it is easy to write. So these are the benefits of using Python as its programming language. The second is again features and advantages. You also saw how it is installed. Then what are the platforms which you use for interacting with Python, that also you have seen. How to write a simple print command, that also you have seen. You will do the practicals when you come to the school. Also you should, if you can, you should install Python ideally, or you can also install Anaconda, and you can use those platforms so as to try these kind of programs. Okay, then comes how to exit a Python programming platform. Also you have seen in your previous session. Also with that you have seen the Python programming fundamentals, where you have seen what variables is, what are the different type of variables are. So what is a variable? Variable is just like a container, just like your water bottle. The water bottle is used to fill in water, so it holds the water. The same way, variable is actually a container which holds data. And there is a concept called what? Type. Type says what type of data you are going to store in a variable. So it can be integer, that is numbers. It can be a floating point number, that is it can be a decimal number. It can be alphabets like letters, that in computer terms we call it characters. Then we also have a string, that is group of characters. So these things can be stored where? In your variable. Then there are some rules which has to be followed when you are using variable names. That is also being discussed. You have to follow it, otherwise you will be getting error. Those kind of errors are called syntax error. So variable name, how to write a variable name should be kept in your mind. The same basics will be used in any language you learn. So whatever the basics you learn for Python is similar to that of C, C++, Java. So if you learn the basics properly, it will be easy for you to go for other languages. Then keywords in Python also was a point which was discussed previously. What is keyword? Keywords are those words which is having special duties, or in other words we can say that keyword is reserved word. So it is being reserved for some other activity. So you can't use it for naming a variable or a program or anything like that. So it is reserved. So that is what is called keyword. Then comes operators. So now we are moving into those topics which are actually those things which we have to learn. So already you know what keywords and all. Now we are going for the next topic, that is operators. Basically these variables or identifiers we call, then keywords, operators are all building blocks of this Python language or any language, any programming language, or we can also call it tokens. It's a common name given for these building blocks. So operator is also a building block of Python, and operators are special symbols. So it's same as very related to mathematics. We have used many of the operators you see in Python before in your mathematics classes. So operators are special symbols which represent computation. So it is used for some kind of computation or calculation. Then values or variables when used with operators are known as operands. You have to keep in mind these definitions because it can be asked for your Viva session when you are having your practicals next year. So these basics won't be taught again in your next year. You have to keep in mind these things. These are the building blocks. So you might get questions like what is an operator, and you have to know the definition. If not the correct sentences, you should know to convey it properly. So operators are symbols where those values or variables which you use with the operator is called operands. So for example, when you say 4 plus 2 equal to 7, plus and equal to sign are both operators. They are symbols where 4, 2, 7. Those values are called operands. So you should know the difference between operator and operands. Moving on, we can classify operators into different. Actually the classification we have discussed is only limited. There is lots of classifications, but according to the syllabus we are only dealing with some. The first one and the most easiest one is arithmetic. Then comes relational, where comparisons happens. Then logical. We will explain these things in more detail later. Then assignment operators. So the operators can be classified mainly into 4. There are more classifications which you don't need to bother about now. The main ones are arithmetic, relational, logical and assignment. Then we'll take the mathematical or arithmetic operator. Plus, minus, slash and star, these are ones you are using from what? First standard. So these are pluses we use for what? Addition. And when you write in Python, you write it as a plus b. A and b are variables. The symbol plus is the operator which is used for addition. Basic mathematical operation. Then comes minus. It is also used for what? Performing difference. That is in order to subtract two numbers. You are having variable a and b in this example, and you are using the operator minus symbol. Then slash. This is what the difference comes when you are writing in mathematics and in computer. You never see a divide sign in your keyboard, do you? No, right? So instead of that, you are using a backslash. So perform divisions between two numbers, and it is written as a slash b. So it means that a divided by b, and you will be getting the quotient as the answer. Same as the operation is same as that of mathematics, but the only symbol changes. Then comes star. It is actually the multiplication symbol. Star is also called asterisk symbol in computers. So it's a star symbol you see in your keyboard. Instead of the into mark you use for multiplication in mathematics, we use the star symbol. It performs multiplication of two numbers, and it is a star b. We never use asterisk because it's a heavy word, right? We always go for star. So a star b is the multiplication. So comes percentage. This is an operation you haven't seen till date, because percentage gives you is a operation very similar to what our division, but instead of quotient part, the result we are getting is the remainder. So when you write modulus, it is called modulus. It returns a remainder. If you write a percentage b, you will be getting what? The remainder part. For example, if you are dividing 5 by 2, or you are going to find 5 divided by 2, what will you get? You will be getting 2 as an answer. It is a question mark. When you write 5 percentage 2, what will you get? You will get 1, because 1 is the remainder. So that is the difference. Then, if you have double slash, that is floor division. So it ignores the decimal point values. If you do a division, you will get decimal point values, right? If you are doing floor division, it ignores whatever comes as after the decimal point. So it will be a integer basically. It won't be having fractional part. So floor division does, it is, the symbol used is double slash. Then double slash shows what? Exponent. If you are writing a double star b, it shows that it is a raised to b. That is 2 double star 2 is what? 2 raised to 2, that is 4. So we'll see some examples. If you write print, see whatever you put in double quotes, it will be printed as such. So when you put in double quotes 18 plus 5 equal to, it will be print as such in your output. Then comma 18 plus 5, what will it do? It will calculate 18 plus 5 and you will get the result 23. So this part will be replaced by the result. So the output will be 18 plus 5 equal to 23, because we wrote 18 plus 5 where? Inside the double quotes. Then print 27 divided by 5 equal to, that is in double quotes. So it will be printed just like that. Equal to what? 27 divided by 5. So what will happen? This part the Python will calculate or divide 27 with 5 and the result will be printed. Here is just division, so it will be having the decimal point value. If it was double slash, it will ignore the decimal point value and will be only printing what? 5 as the answer. And again, Python also does concatenation operations. So it works in what? String. For example, concatenation. What is string? String is actually a combination of letters or characters, if you say in the terms of computer. So concatenation of two strings means you are using the operator plus so as to join two different strings or two different words. So we are having hello as a word plus you are having Python. These were two different words. So using the operator plus, what happens? Hello Python, a single word has been made because of what? The plus operator. So the plus operator is having two functions right now. It is used for mathematical operation, that is addition. Also it is used for what? Concatenating or joining together two strings. Then if you write print hello is a string into 5. What will it do? It will be printing hello 5 times. So you can see the output. It is hello, 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 hello and hello. Okay. So into 5 does what? It is like multiplication. It will make that particular string write 5 times. Here it is 5, so it will be written 5 times. So this is another function of what? The operator plus and star. Then comes unary operator and binary operator. This basically is a classification. So when you talk about operators, operators can be mainly classified into two, unary operators and binary operators. There is also a concept called ternary operator, which we are not going to discuss here in this chapter. Okay, unary operators are those operators which works on only one and only one operand. So and also we will talk about binary operator, where binary operator works in more than one, that is two operands. So for example, we are having a equal to 2, that is the variable a is holding the value 2 and b is holding the value 3. So when you are going to write print a plus b, what will happen? It will give the output what? 5. It will be calculating 2 and 3. and the addition or the sum of those two numbers are being taken and is printed. So here the plus operator is working on two different operands. That is the reason why it is called a binary operator. Since it is working on two different operands. If it is working on three different operands, it is called ternary operator. So what will be unary operator? When it is working on one operand only, it is called unary operator. So we will see the example. A is 2. So when you print minus A, it will be giving you output minus 2. That is, minus symbol is going to negate the value of what? A. So we take another example. A is equal to minus 2. And you are going to print minus A. Then what will be the answer? The answer will be 2. Because minus of minus is plus. So that is the duty of unary operator. It will be working on one and only one operand. Then comes relational operator. So now we are done with almost all mathematical or arithmetical operators. Now we are going for what? Relational operator. Relational operators do what? Comparison. It will take two values and will do what? Comparison between the values, and the value comparison, it will be giving the result true or false. So whatever the result you are getting will be either true or false. It won't give you any numbers. And if you are talking about number, it will give 0 or 1 as corresponding to false it will be 0 and for true it will be 1. No other values will be taken. So we'll see the first operator, that is equal to equal to. Here you have to keep in mind a single equal to means assignment operator, where equal to is a comparison operator. It looks for equality. So equal to means it checks whether the two numbers are equal. So A equal to B will check value of A is equal to value of B. If it is equal, it will return or give back true as an answer. If the comparison is false, that is A is not equal to B, then it will give back what? False as an answer. Same as not equal to, it will check whether the value of A is not equal to B. So if it is not equal, it will give back true. If it is equal, it will give back what? False. Then greater than, just the same way you use greater than symbol in maths. It will check for the value. First value is greater than the second value. If it is greater, that is in this case if A is greater than B, it will give back what? True as an answer. If it is false, if it is less than the value, if A is less than B, what happens? It will give back false as answer. Then greater than or equal to. So in the previous case, it will only check for greater values. If the values were equal, it won't consider it. It will give you back false. So greater than equal to also check for whether the value is equal. A equal to B also will be checked, as well as A greater than B also will be checked. All those cases you will be getting true as an answer. Then comes less than, returns true if the value is less. A is less, then you will be getting true as a value. Then less than or equal to will give you, also consider what? Equality. If A and B are equal also, it will give you back true. Otherwise, all the other cases, you will be getting false as an answer. So here is an example. See, print 23 equal to 25. Simple case, it is false, right? The two values are not the same. So the answer will be false. Then here is a string hello, which is written in small case, that is small letters, is checked for whether it is less than capital HELLO. Okay. So here small letter case hello is checked with hello, which is having H as capital, and we got it as false. So you will wonder how it worked. There is a concept called ASCII, or it is a chart where you can convert any letter or any symbol used in your computer into number. So you can see this chart. If you are taking capital letter, small letter A, it is having a corresponding number 097, and this is the corresponding binary number for this particular small letter a. And if you see capital letter A, it is having a value 65. So it is having its corresponding value. So according to these values, it will be calculating what is less and what is greater. So since small letter numbers are having greater value, ASCII code value than capital letter values, so which will be greater? The ones written in small letters. So that is the reason why our previous question was having a value as false as a result, because small case values are having greater value compared to that of larger case, otherwise capital letters. Okay, then comes logical operators. Logical operators are used to connect two different relational operators. If you are having two relational operators and you need to combine these two, you make use of logical operators. So, logical operators are and, or, not written in small letters. In Python, you have to be very careful about the case which you use to write. Case means capital letter or small letter. The language is case sensitive, so it takes care of capital letters as different and small letters as different. So when you are going to write and in capital letter, it will give you an error saying that it doesn't know and. So if you write small letters, it knows that and is a pre-written or a keyword used in Python. So you should be very careful while writing these kind of keywords. So and is used to check both the values. So x is a relational operator and y is a relational operator. Both x and y should be true, then only it will give you back a true answer. That is the use of and. If both the expression x is having true, y is having true, then only you will get a true answer. If x is false and y is true, then it will be false. All the other cases it will be false. Only if x and y are true, you will be getting true as an answer. If you are using and as a logical operator. But in the case of or either one or both is true, it will consider it as true. For example, if x is true, y is false, then the answer will be true if you are using or. If only both the values are false, your output will be false. All the other cases, it will be like x and y. Either one can, if either one of them is true, you will be getting true as an answer. If only both are false, you will be getting false as the answer. In the previous case, if both were true only, you will be getting true. All the other cases, it was false. Then comes not. Not will reverse whatever you are having. If it's not of A greater than B, if the answer is false, it will give you back true. If the answer is true, it will give you back what? False. So whatever the answer is, it will be inverted using what? Not. Now let us see some examples of logical operators. You are going to print 10 less than 25 or 5 greater than 6. So 10 is less than 25, it is a true statement. 5 greater than 6 is true? No, right? It is a false statement. So here you are going to check a true or false. So one is true, the other is false. You are using or as an operator, so you will be getting answer as true. Any one can be true or both can be true, then the answer is true. Then next one, 10 less than 25, it is true. And 5 greater than 6, where the answer is false. So here we are using and as an operator. One is true, the other is false. The result will be false because it is and. If both are true, then only it will consider a true. Then the next one, not 5 greater than 6. 5 is greater than 6, the answer is false. Not of false will be true. So whatever the answer inside comes, it will be inverted or negated by not. So it will be true. Then comes assignment operator. Assignment operator means whatever value is there. For example, let us say x equal to x plus 3. So what happens is that it will first do this part, whatever comes after the equal to sign. It will calculate the value and assign that particular value to x. That is basically what the assignment operator do. So equal to operator is just x equal to 5 means 5 value will be put inside what? X. So it is the variable will be holding 5 from now. If you write x equal to 5, what will happen? It will put the value 5 inside the variable x. Here in this case, it will calculate x plus 3. Then we will put that particular value inside. We'll put back the value inside x. So this is the purpose of assignment operator. So when you talk about assignment operator, there are some shortcuts too. When you write equal to, it is just assignment. If you write plus equal to, we will take this example, x plus equal to 3. So it can be written as x equal to x plus 3. X plus equal to 3 is same as x equal to x plus 3. Instead of writing x twice, it is just making it a shortcut, giving you a shortcut. Then minus equal to is x, we will take the example, x minus equal to 3 means x equal to x minus 3. Into or star equal to or asterisk equal to, you can say whatever you want. X asterisk equal to 3 means x equal to x into 3 or x asterisk 3. So these are short forms. So when you are writing long programs, you can make use of these shortcuts so as to write easily, so that the repetition of the variables can be avoided. So in other terms, when you are going for a software engineering, then later on when you are going for an IT career, these things will be calculated as the quality of your software. There is a concept called quality. So there is certain quality which should be kept when you are naming a variable. When you are writing the program, you should put comments properly. So these all comes under what? The quality of the particular software you create. So these shortcuts can be used in the future when you are going for a programming career. Then slash equal to will do what? X slash equal to 3 means x equal to x divided by 3. Percentage equal to x percentage equal to 3 means x equal to x percentage 3. So it's all similar. Slash slash equal to means x slash slash equal to 3 is an example. It will be written formally as x equal to x slash slash 3. So it's a short form, it's a full form. This is what it's having a repetition of x. We are just putting it in a shorter way. Star star equal to is another assignment operator. There x star star equal to 3 means x equal to x star star 3. Precedence, operator precedence. You have seen this grammatical expressions. When you are having a expression, for example, you are having a question, 2 plus 3 into 5. What will you be doing first? You will be multiplying. 3 into 5 will be done first, then only you go for addition. This is because each operator has its own weightage. Some of it might be having more weightage, some might be having less. So when you are writing an expression which is having, or a statement which is having more than one operator, you have to keep in mind which operator is having more weightage, so that operator should be done first. So in this case, also you should consider if you are using brackets, whatever comes inside the bracket should be done first. Before any operators, whatever comes inside the bracket should be done. Okay? And after, when you take the operators, exponential symbol is having the highest priority. If your expression is having exponential symbol, you should go for what? Star star. Star star as the first operation to be done. So exponential will be done, then only it will go for other operators. Then comes unary plus and minus. You don't need to discuss those things. We are not going to deal with those questions in our programming. So there are a concept called unary, plus and minus. We have seen the example minus a, right? So those operators having the next priority after what? Exponential operator. Then after that comes star, slash, modulus operator, floor division, all those comes under the next level. So exponent, unary operators, then comes star, slash, percentage, slash, and all. Then comes our plus and minus. Only after multiplication and division you will consider what? Addition and subtraction. Then after that comes, then only after all the mathematical operations only comes what? Relation operators. In relation operators, less than or equal to, less than, greater than or equal to is having highest priority. Then after that, equal to, not equal to, these both symbols are interchanged, can be used interchangeably for what? Not equal to. Okay, so these comes only after what? Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Then assignment operators is having one among the operators which is having least priority, and all shortcuts comes under that. Just equal to, percentage equal to, slash equal to, all those things comes after relational operators. And the least prioritized ones are logical operators. Only after the calculation, then after the comparison comes the logical operation. So not, or, and comes after what? Relational assignment. Least prioritized operators are what? Logical operators. So those are the ones which will be done last. So if you are having an expression which is having some mathematical operation, then relation, then logical operation, what will happen? All the mathematical operations will be done first. After that it will check for relation, that is comparisons. After that it will do what? Logical operations. So this is the order of precedence which you have to follow when you are doing a program. Then expression. So we were talking about expression, and all the examples were expression. Expressions are combination of operators and operands. Some of them can assign value to a variable. So assignment operators will be involved. So it doesn't matter whether there is an assignment operator or not. Expressions are those statements which is having both operators and operands. So since Python supports many operators, there can be a variety of what? Expressions. So this is what we have to learn. And these are the examples for expression. X equal to 4 is an expression, y equal to 6 is an expression, x into 25 plus y again is an expression. It can have n number of operands, n number of operators, and you will be getting a final single result after this. So if it is having logical operators, you will be having true or false as a final answer. So this is what is about operators and expressions. Hope you have understood everything, and we have seen different type of operators, what are operands. We also saw the precedence, then we saw what expression is. Hopefully you are all clear with those concepts. If you are having doubt, we will definitely discuss it in our discussion sessions. Then thank you so much. See you next time.